How can you say that there is black privilege considering the history behind the black struggles? Black people have been enslaved.
Yeah, by other black people.
Let me talk.
Where was the
Let me talk. Don't interrupt me, because I'm not interrupting you.
I'm a black woman.
No, I don't care. I'm a person of color too.
Whoa!
I'm a person of color too.
Oh, okay.
And you're interrupting me, and I'm not interrupting you, so don't interrupt me.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Continue.
I could give you an example of how black people are not privileged today. Okay. For example, the medical system. Black women are not giving painkillers because they were considered and they are stereotyped for being tough. And many of those women have died for not being medicated as they should.
I get painkillers.
Another example can be the prison system. Many of the people that are in prison are people of color.
Okay, did they commit crimes?
Yes.
Okay.
But
okay.
But most of the time they are detained for crimes that are not even as bad. They could be detained for stealing something of, let's say, a small amount of money.
Okay.
Also, I don't know how you can be sitting in a table talking against your own racial identity.
My identity isn't in my skin color. That's
but you are
problem.
black.
I'm not blind. I do see that I am black.
Bro, if I had $1 for every time some college intellectual implied that because God blessed me with this skin tone, I should be holding certain beliefs and espousing certain talking points, I would be rich. Like, not regular rich, filthy rich, okay? It always baffles me that these students go to university and they learn all of these ideologies about, implicit bias and dismantling white supremacy and systemic racism, and yet they have no idea that they're being racist in the process of saying this nonsense. Like the anti-racists are always racist, and it's hilarious to watch. How could you sit there and make a generalization about what my belief should be based on my skin tone? How should a black woman think? And however you decide to answer that, it's going to sound bad regardless. That's just crazy to me. Now, second of all, I don't know if you caught it, but I pulled the whole Kamala thing. Like, excuse me, I'm speaking because that's been the rhetoric for like the last couple of years is listen when a black woman is speaking. And so here I am trying to speak and she says, I don't care. Oh, I'm sorry. These are your rules that y'all made up and now you don't want to, okay. I can't keep track, honestly. And this is why they say that the left eats itself. Granted, the right can also do it to their own side as well. But these ideologies will inevitably implode on one another because it's not rooted in fact and reality. Let's get into this video. If it hasn't yet, I'm just letting you know, I'm giving you a fair warning. This video is going to piss you off because it certainly pissed me off when I was there live in person. I just could not believe that I'm sitting in the midst of these college intellectuals who are probably taking on thousands of dollars worth of debt to say nonsense like this, okay? So that's just a fair warning.
So how can you sit there and say that black people have privilege when they don't? For example, if a police were to pull you over, you're not going to have the same privilege as your counterparts. They have more privilege than you.
That's an assumption.
That's not an assumption.
What privilege do these guys have?
That's not an assumption.
What privilege do they have that I don't?
They're white. Like the example that I gave you, if
just,
a police...
Just white by default?
If the example that I gave you, which you're ignoring, if a police were to
I've been stopped by the police. Okay.
And what has been your...
I paid my ticket and I drove on my way.
But unfortunately, not everyone has that privilege.
Okay, so then it sounds like it wasn't something specific to white privilege or black privilege. It's just the fact that we had a good interaction and I gave him respect and he respected me and we went about our day.
See, again, this is exactly what I mean. She totally makes a generalization about black folks without realizing how extremely racist it sounds to imply that because of what I look like, all of my interactions with the police have been negative. Like, who are you surveying? Who did you ask? You didn't ask me. If we're gonna sit there and make generalizations, then she should be willing to take on that same type of rhetoric. Okay, well, all Latinos are illegal. They're all illegal. You jumped over the fence, did you not? By the way, I misspoke when I said I paid my ticket and I went on my way. Obviously, you know, the officers, they don't take credit card at the window. But I'm trying to make the argument that, yeah, I have had many interactions with police officers. And you know why? Because I was doing something wrong. I was speeding. I didn't fix my headlight, whatever the case may be. But either way, I didn't end up dead. I didn't end up as like on a mural in some city. No. I showed him respect. I kept my cool. I was calm. I was collected. I smiled. A lot of people don't know how to smile. Hey, pro tip, a smile diffuses a lot of situations.
Anytime that we live in a system that is not meritocracy based, everybody suffers, including the people who are recipients of the privilege.
So you're suffering just because a black person is able to have some type of
Every
help,
single
just
person,
because you don't have maximum privilege?
Every single time that anybody who is not qualified to have the position that they have is allowed to be given a position or an advancement or a promotion or put in some sort of program where they don't have the qualifications to be there, every person suffers. Certainly, there are just as many proportionally black people or brown people who are skilled and advanced in any field as anybody else.
Like you mentioned.
But I'm talking about the fact that with the DEI programs, there are people who don't have the qualifications, don't have the skills, who are being promoted and advanced, and that negatively impacts everybody.
Like you mentioned, you were talking about people that don't have that privilege. Unfortunately, those people of color don't have that privilege just because of their color. And most of the time, they don't have that qualification due to their color.
What did he say?
That's why we have things like Jim Crow. Because those people didn't have the qualifications due to their color. That's why we have the idea of the other.
So can I
which
ask you
is the
something?
idea that other people that are from different colors don't get the same privilege as a white person.
So you're on this campus. Did you get here because of DEI?
I got here because of my grades, but
because you're married.
I'm not done. Let me talk.
Because
let me
you're
talk.
married. I'm not done with my question.
As a person of color, I do benefit from DEI.
Okay, but you didn't get here because of DEI. You got here because of your merit.
But it was an aid. And that's the thing that I'm trying to get to.
Black
It's
people
an
have
aid.
access to aid. Mm-hmm. They have access to aid. DEI prioritizes skin color, not merit. And that's my question. You're here because of your merit. So you didn't need DEI. And that's what DEI does. It prioritizes skin color.
DEI does not
It's a
prioritize
checkbox.
your skin color. It just gives those people...
Yes, it does.
Okay, so I have to pause really quick because I don't know if you guys noticed this, right? So this chick gets on her soapbox and she starts talking about DEI and how DEI provides opportunities to people like me because I've been oppressed for so long in this country and I lack the resources to get an education. Again, very racist, but she just goes right over her head. But isn't it interesting that as she's saying all of these amazing things about diversity, equity, and inclusion, she refuses to accept that she took advantage or she was a product of DEI. I wonder why that is. You know, could it be that maybe it's insulting for someone to imply that you didn't actually work hard to get where you are? You know, it's very interesting. So everyone else, all the other blacks and browns, you guys can benefit from DEI, but not me. Oh, that's a knee slapper. DEI, it's packaged as something that's beneficial for black folks, okay? But at the root of it, it's detrimental. You're setting people up for failure, and I'm going to explain why. What DEI does is it takes a look at any given industry. Let's say teachers, for example, okay? Let's say education. And you look at how many teachers are employed in that specific field, and you say, oh, there's a lot of white teachers here. And so DEI says, okay, we're going to prioritize skin color to bring in more black teachers. But what that's actually doing is it's lowering the bar. It's lowering the requirements for teachers because now you have this situation where, let's say, if there's an opening for a new teacher at a school, you have a bunch of white people apply, and then you have some black folks apply. DEI says, okay, even though this candidate who's black has less skills and less experience, we're going to prioritize hiring them over this white person who may have more qualifications. And so you are effectively lowering the bar, But the biggest issue that I really want to hone in here is that when DEI, when you take that into consideration for, let's say, entering a university, you are setting students up for failure because they're not ready. They're not equipped. Before you go into school, you should get a tutor, you should study, you should really make sure that you reach that bar, that standard before going into a certain field, because what ends up happening is that you're going to encourage more dropouts, okay? Again, if you've never heard of Thomas Sowell, I recommend you look this guy up because he lays all the statistics down that things like affirmative action and DEI, stuff like that, it doesn't actually work. If anything, you're making more black dropouts, essentially.
Wait, let me talk. I'm not done talking. How can you say... I know. How can you say that a black person has privilege when they have been oppressed for so much? And then that oppression has been ingrained in America for such a long time. So you saying that black... I'm not done. You saying that black people have privilege is a way for you to feel better about your white privilege.
Yes, people have been oppressed. Black people have been oppressed. White people have been oppressed. At some point, you're going to have to get over it and move forward. This is 2025.
But it's hard to move forward when there's so many policies that are coming out that are affecting people of color.
I'm not affected.
You're not affected, but I am as a Latina.
How? Specifically, how?
I live in fear that my parents can be deported.
Okay. Are they here? Are they here legally?
Luckily for you, you don't have to fear that.
Are they here legally?
I'm not going to answer that because I don't have to answer you.
Okay, so that's okay.
But I'm just telling you.
So if they are, then it's because they came here illegally and not because of the color of their skin, correct?
What does that have to do with immigration?
Because you said you live in fear that you're a Latina.
Do you know what immigration is? Immigration is coming here for better opportunities. What does that have to do with the color of my skin?
It has to do
We
with
have
coming
white
legally.
people coming here.
No.
No,
You
you do not understand
said that
what
as a
immigration
Latina,
is.
you're terrified of your parents getting deported. Why would they be deported if they're legal citizens?
Okay, now this last part here is, I just, if there was a graph of all the mental gymnastics that you see in a video, it would look something like this. Like oh my goodness, she could not stay on track. She's making the argument that Latinos are being oppressed in this country because of all the policies that are affecting them, and specifically pertaining to how a lot of people are getting deported. And so I asked the question, did they come here illegally? And she doesn't want to answer the question, which, if you remember earlier in this video, I pointed out the fact that the left hates accountability. They don't want to admit that the reason why there might be an increase of black and brown people in jail is because they committed a crime. And so, why are they being deported? Are they illegal? I don't want to answer that. And so my friend Mikey comes out and he just asks her straight up. So it sounds like the reason why they would get deported is because they broke the law. And she just can't fathom why he would bring up race. It has nothing to do with race. Well, boo-boo, you brought up race. That was your argument. You're the one that said the whole reason that people are getting deported is because they're Latina or Latino. So it has nothing to do with race. And again, it's like, it's a way of redirecting the conversation so you don't pay attention to what the root argument is. And the root argument is that people who commit crimes should accept the consequences of said crimes. But she doesn't want to do that. Oh my goodness, it's so funny. But anyways, yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see the full interaction, it's like 3-hour-long video. You can check it out on the Walkaway YouTube channel. And if you have a question or a suggestion for a different topic, please let me know in the comment section below. It will help with the algorithm as well. But until next time, guys, my name is Gothix. You may know me as Vanessa. Wait, no, I said that wrong. My name is Vanessa. You may know me as Gothix. Listen, my coffee is almost done, all right? I got to go. Bye-bye.